This page is the front cover of the Dreamcast magazine, proclaiming itself as the official #1 for the console. It's shouting about Dreamcast Gaming 2001, so this is definitely from around that time. You've got Ryo Hazuki from Shenmue, looking all serious, and Sonic, the Hedgehog, grinning away. Classic Dreamcast faces. Below the title, it's plugging the games you need. Kaio, listing a bunch of crackers. Sonic Adventure 2, Virtua Tennis 2, Crazy Taxi 2, Confidential Mission, Headhunter, Daytona USA 2001, Outrigger, Shenmue 2, Capcom vs SNK Pro, and Alien Front Online. Good mix there, something for everyone really. They're teasing a Shenmue 2 guide, must be a multi-part thing, and there's a deal for £5 off any Dreamcast game inside. At the bottom, they've got screenshots to tempt you, showing off Headhunter, Outrigger, Crazy Taxi 2, Virtua Tennis 2, and Alien Front Online. Yep, sets the scene nicely for what was hot on the Dreamcast back in the day. The magazine page is primarily a contents list and a large advertisement for Cheats Unlimited, a cheat service. The content section outlines game reviews, starting with Sonic Adventure 2 and including titles like Virtua Tennis 2, Crazy Taxi 2, and Shenmue 2. Other features include an Interact intro, a Dreamcast Solutions as guide, and a continuation of the Shenmue 2 guide. The Cheats Unlimited advertisement promotes access to over 10,000 cheats and tips, daily updates, expert-compiled guides, and walkthroughs. It targets a broad audience and emphasizes premium-rate phone numbers for accessing cheat information. The ad features an image of a woman with guns to attract customers. This page is a preview for Sonic Adventure 2, celebrating Sonic's 10th anniversary. The magazine are really hyping it up, calling it visually stunning, and saying it's certainly more fun to play than the original. They talk about how the original Sonic Adventure was groundbreaking, bringing the Sonic universe into 3D, and say this sequel is even better visually. There are screenshots showing off the gameplay and characters like Sonic and Eggman. They mention a karting we will go section, which seems to be about kart racing within the game, and also a Sonic Boom feature. They're clearly very impressed, stating it's a major step up from previous Sonic games, and highlighting the graphical improvements and exciting gameplay. They mention there are 10 levels and 7 characters to choose from. Overall, it's a very positive preview, building anticipation for the game. This page continues the Sonic Adventure 2 preview, focusing on different gameplay aspects. There's a section called Soap on a Rope, highlighting the grinding ability with Sonic's new soap shoes, showing screenshots of Sonic grinding on rails and across rooftops. Very stylish indeed. It mentions how you can grind on pretty much anything. Then there's Heroes and Villains, which talks about the 6 playable characters split into hero and dark storylines. It seems you experience the story from both sides, and the cutscenes and story change depending on your chosen side, which sounds rather ambitious. They mention the fastest hedgehog alive title for Sonic and Shadow being a mysterious creature, and Eggman getting a bit of a revamp. Slip Grinding Away is another section that focuses on the E102 series robots, specifically Tails and Dr. Eggman, who also have grinding mechanics, though tailored to their characters and vehicles. Apparently Dr. Eggman gets this mechanized walker, suggesting different vehicles for different characters for these grinding sections. Finally, there is an info burst section mentioning that the game has saved the world numerous times already, a bit tongue-in-cheek, and that Sonic is now old enough to drink beer. It also touches on the interesting fact that the game was originally designed to look radically different, but they opted for the current style. And there's a little note about Big the Cat not being in Sonic Adventure 2, which some might find a relief. Sonic Adventure 2 heavily features the Chaos Garden, a creature-raising element. The game boasts 3 gardens initially, with more unlocked based on character alignment. The Chaos Kindergarten serves as a learning center, where Chaos develop skills like singing and learn independently. Chaos races offer competitive events for emblems and Chaos Emeralds. Chaos alignment is affected by the player's use of hero or dark characters, influencing their appearance. Players can give Chaos abilities using animals found in the main game, granting them skills like swimming or running. The article also mentions a Rouge stage, highlighting a treasure hunt, with time constraints and riddles. Screenshots emphasize the depth and uniqueness of the Chaos Garden, aiming to distinguish it from a simple minigame. This review of Sonic Adventure 2, titled Mystic Meg, is overwhelmingly positive. The review highlights the game's improvements over the original, praising the diverse mission structure within the story mode, offering increased replayability and challenge. The hero and dark stories are well received, and the level design is lauded. The Dreamcast opinion section features mixed perspectives. Speed 2 finds the camera annoying, but the second opinion calls the sequel a significant improvement over the first game. The overall verdict is that Sonic Adventure 2 surpasses its predecessor. The game receives a strong 93% overall rating, with visuals and gameplay scoring exceptionally high. The review concludes with a resounding endorsement, labeling it a challenging and engaging experience, devoid of the shortcomings of the first game, and declaring it a must-have. This review of Virtua Tennis 2 praises it as an incredibly enjoyable gaming experience, building upon the original Dreamcast title. The reviewer highlights improved graphics and smoother animations, making player movement and faces more realistic. Gameplay depth is praised, with new challenges even for seasoned players. Returning modes like Arcade, Exhibition, and World Circuit offer single and multiplayer options, with World Circuit featuring significant overhauls and simulation elements. New features include player customization, allowing changes to appearance, and gameplay tweaks like easier drop shots and lobs. The addition of 5-set matches and female players like Monica Seles and Lindsay Davenport is also welcomed. Overall, the review is very positive, emphasizing the game's enhancements and new content. The next page continues the Virtua Tennis 2 feature, still raving about it being a top game. It mentions the game improving on the original, with better graphics making player movements and faces more realistic. They're saying even seasoned players will find new challenges. Game modes like Arcade, Exhibition, and the revamped World Circuit are back for single and multiplayer fun. World Circuit sounds like it's been properly overhauled, with simulation elements this time. They've added player customization so you can change your players' looks, and tweaked gameplay like making drop shots and lobs easier to pull off. Good to hear they've added 5-set matches and female players, mentioning Monica Seles and Lindsay Davenport by name. There's talk about the champion mode being the ultimate aim and calendar-based tournaments. They're asking if you are experienced and talking about the training minigames being tougher this time around, comparing them to Virtua Tennis 1, mentioning things like bullseye and 10-pin bowling being back but even wackier than before. Hey, good looking section is talking about graphical improvements and smoother player animations, saying it makes the players look more realistic and movements more convincing. They quote that, "The speed of the game has also been increased, making your reactions even more important this time round," which sounds about right. Virtua Tennis 2 receives high praise, with the review highlighting improved graphics, gameplay, and a challenging experience. The review notes minor issues with crowd animations and sound, but overall considers the game excellent and a significant improvement over its predecessor. The reviewer finds the music to be the only real negative, concluding that Virtua Tennis 2 is one of the best sports games ever made, scoring it a 95% overall, with strong scores in visuals, gameplay, and value. The page also includes advertisements. These include listings for Dreamcast games like Shenmue 2, consoles and accessories, and adverts for game stores and special offers. Crazy Taxi 2, posing the question: new city, new taxi drivers. Porisacy. Same old game? Porisacy delivers a familiar yet updated experience. While retaining the core gameplay of picking up and dropping off passengers, it introduces new twists and locations, including San Francisco and New York. The review praises the game's embrace of shortcuts, essential for skilled players, as highlighted in the right-up-your-back alley panel. The InfoBurst section contrasts the original's passenger count record with the increased challenge in Crazy Taxi 2. Screenshots showcase the signature yellow cabs navigating a vibrant city, with the option to exploit unusual routes. Published by Sega, and developed by Hitmaker, this racing game is priced at £29.99. Crazy Taxi 2 receives a glowing review, earning a 92% overall score. While acknowledging its brilliance, the reviewer notes the game's incremental improvements over the original, with some features feeling added for the sake of a sequel. The review praises the diverse gameplay modes, crazy drop, crazy arches, etc., and intricate level design, emphasizing the enhanced speed. Despite slight feelings of repetition, the core gameplay loop and multiplayer fun are highly praised. The value for money is considered good. The review highlights improved graphics and addictive gameplay, but acknowledges that it's a refined version of the first game rather than a drastic change. The Dreamcast rating gives high scores for visuals, 95%, sound, 91%, gameplay, 89%, and value, 94%. The conclusion is that Crazy Taxi 2 is a polished and enjoyable evolution of a great formula. This page showcases a preview of Confidential Mission for the Dreamcast. It's pitching itself as the ultimate gun-toting spy experience, all about tuxedos, vodka martinis and suave chat-up lines. They are really pushing the James Bond vibe, mentioning classic Bond villains, drawing parallels with characters in the game like Goldfinger, Hugo Drax and Largo, who are all visually inspired by their movie counterparts. The preview talks about the arcade feel of the game, emphasizing quick-fix action gameplay, and how Hitmaker, the developers, have put effort into making it replayable. It's being positioned as a spiritual successor to games like Virtua Cop, but with a Bond twist. They also ask, "Do you expect me to talk?" section, suggesting it could be as big as House of the Dead 2 for the Dreamcast. Screenshots show off some in-game action and character close-ups of these Bond-esque villains. Confidential Mission for the Dreamcast is highlighted as a fast-paced, arcade-style light gun game. Emphasizing the short, action-packed arcade mode, the game allows for quick play sessions. The non-linear level design allows for multiple routes, enhancing replayability. Comparisons are drawn to successful arcade conversions like House of the Dead 2 and Crazy Taxi, suggesting a high-quality experience. Positive reviews praise its fun gameplay, especially with friends, and its non-stop action. The game is described as potentially surpassing House of the Dead 2 in some aspects, with an overall score of 89%. The reviewers recommend the game, especially if you enjoy light gun shooters, and consider it a must-buy for Dreamcast owners. This page is all about Headhunter on the Dreamcast. It's a preview piece asking if it could be one of the Dreamcast's last great games. Quite poignant, really. It mentions the game had a few delays, but it's finally here. They point out the voice acting is good, although the main character Jake apparently sounds a bit like Clint Eastwood, which is no bad thing. Wakishi. The article talks about how the game has been anticipated, and that it's developed by Stockholm-based Amuse. It's set in a future California where body parts are a commodity, and you play as a headhunter, working for the anti-crime network. Gameplay-wise, it's described as a third-person adventure where you explore locations and tackle missions, blending stealth and puzzle elements, even comparing it to Metal Gear Solid. The Infoburst section mentions, the game was originally meant to be set in Britain but ended up in California, and that headhunting is essentially about recruiting criminals to work for agencies. It seems to have a dark sense of humor about it all. The screenshots show various in-game moments with characters and environments, showcasing the third-person perspective and action elements. The game data box lists details like it being an action-adventure game for one player, recommending the arcade stick and vibration pack for peripherals, and lists the developer as Amuse. This review covers Headhunter, highlighting its gameplay across several sections. License to Thrill introduces the story, an amnesiac protagonist entangled with the LE.ILA organization, requiring stealth and gadget-based puzzle solving. Softly details stealth mechanics, while Dumbing Down discusses puzzle elements. Get Out Your Leathers and Easy Rider emphasize motorbike sections in California as a core travel mechanic, set in detailed environments. The game receives a 92% overall score in Dreamcast opinion, with Heads scoring 95% for atmosphere and action, and Tails scoring 89%. Martin Mathers calls it a must-have. The review also mentions Resident Evil, Code Veronica, and Blue Stinger as alternatives. Simon Can praises Amuse for integrating the motorbike riding. Screenshots depict stealth, motorcycle action, and gunfights. This page reviews Daytona USA 2001 for the Dreamcast, and it sounds like they are really impressed with it, calling it a superior arcade conversion and highlighting its online capabilities and great visuals. They're saying it's finally captured the proper Daytona experience at home, and you'll be hooked for hours with its addictive gameplay. The review mentions car customization options too, showing off screenshots of car settings screens and different vehicles like the Falcon, Grasshopper, Hornet, and Lightning. It seems to be a proper racer for the Dreamcast and a definite step up from previous home console versions, especially those on the Saturn. Moving on from the Headhunter review, this is a shift from stealth action to pure adrenaline-fueled speed. This page continues the review of Daytona USA 2001, which they're clearly still raving about. They're calling it an arcade-perfect racer that will keep you hooked for ages. The review highlights the addictive gameplay, online modes, and the impressive visuals. They reckon it finally brings the genuine Daytona arcade experience home to your Dreamcast, even better than the old Saturn versions. They've got screenshots showing off the car customization, like tweaking your Falcon, Grasshopper, Hornet or Lightning. There's a Dreamcast opinion box, giving it a stonking 90% overall. The judgment section praises the handling, the excitement and the graphical polish, saying it's easily better than the PlayStation version. The second opinion echoes this, admitting they were initially skeptical, but now they're hooked, and it's become their favorite racer on the Dreamcast. They've also got a Rings of Saturn section discussing Daytona's arcade heritage and how this Dreamcast version finally does it justice, mentioning the history in the various home ports over the years. In an alternative section, they briefly mention Ferrari 355 Challenger Metropolis Street Racer as other racing options on the Dreamcast, if for some reason Daytona isn't your cup of tea, which they can't imagine. Outrigger is a visually impressive first-person shooter with gorgeous visuals and massive weapons. While the lack of online play is a disappointment, the game offers a robust single-player experience. The control scheme works well with a keyboard and mouse, but is less effective with the Dreamcast controller. Despite initial doubts, the reviewer sees potential, highlighting the game's accessibility and extensive customization options. Players can choose starting weapons, character appearances, and progress through a mission mode with unlockable content, similar to Crazy Taxi 2. Comparisons are made to Unreal Tournament and Quake 2 iArena, suggesting Outrigger could be a strong contender in the genre. Outrigger, a Dreamcast port of an arcade shooter, offers intense deathmatch gameplay for up to 4 players. The game features familiar characters like Feral and Chrome, with control options including the standard controller and mouse/keyboard. The single-player terrorist mode provides tense bomb defusal missions. While the offline gameplay is highly praised, drawing comparisons to Unreal Tournament and Quake 2/3 Arena, but with a focus on faster, closer combat and compact levels, the lack of online multiplayer is a significant drawback. Despite this, reviewers still recommend Outrigger, highlighting its engaging gameplay, good visuals, and excellent sound. The game received high scores, with an overall rating of 92%, but the lack of online play is acknowledged as a major negative, suggesting players should consider if this is a deal-breaker. This page is focused on Shenmue 2, highlighting it as potentially the Dreamcast's last big release, particularly since the US version was cancelled. The page suggests it could be a fitting send-off for the console. It mentions the original Shenmue being released 9 months prior and praised for its freedom and detail. The review notes the impressive graphics of Shenmue 2 are even better than the first, despite being on the same hardware. The game is praised for its stunning environments, detailed characters, and the continued storyline from the first game, following Ryo's quest in Hong Kong to avenge his father's killer. The review highlights the high-quality Japanese voice acting with English subtitles, suggesting any translation errors are minor. It also touches on the sound design as excellent and integral to the original game's appeal, which Shenmue 2 continues. A section titled Workaholic mentions the various ways to make money in the game, like gambling, working, and fighting. There's a small info box section noting Shenmue 2 contains chapters 2, 3 and 4 of the Shenmue saga, with Europe being the only place to get a Dreamcast version, and that a hidden character from Shenmue can be found in the Ajichi restaurant. The page also has screenshots showing in-game dialogue, scenes from the game and character portraits. The overall tone is very positive, anticipating Shenmue 2 as a worthy successor to the original and a significant title for the Dreamcast. This page continues its look at Shenmue 2 and focuses on the locations you'll be exploring in Hong Kong, breaking it down into 4 main areas. We've got Aberdeen, described as a harbour area packed with shops and cafes, seemingly a tourist hotspot. Then there's Wan Chai, the shopping and market area, full of variety and life. Kowloon is apparently the biggest city in the game, described as brimming with huge buildings and rife with shady characters. Finally, Guilin is mentioned as the final area and location of Landy's headquarters, a quieter, more secretive place. The page also touches on how the sequel will feel familiar to players of the first game, but with improved controls using the analog stick and a new icon system for interactions. It also mentions the QTE QuickTime events are still present and important, and that the game encourages exploration. The review text suggests that while the original Shenmue might have been criticized for slow pacing, Shenmue 2 offers a more action-packed experience, packed with things to do and see. It concludes that even if you weren't keen on the original, Shenmue 2 might just win you over with its improvements and variety. The next page delves deeper into Shenmue 2, focusing on some of the new gameplay mechanics under the heading Iconoclast. It explains how interactions are now managed through a simple icon system, which streamlines things. There are icons for talk, action, door, notebook, system menu, money, and mark, each with a specific function to make navigating the game world easier. It mentions these icons cover everything from initiating conversations and performing actions to accessing your inventory and making notes. Moving on, the Dreamcast Opinions section gives the game a very strong SMEPO award. Top marks indeed. The Judgment section highlights Shenmue 2's improvements over the first game in terms of pace and content. It praises the locations, characters, and the fact there's always something to do. The second opinion from another team member echoes this sentiment, noting the long development time was worth it, and commending the improved controls and less tedious waiting. It suggests even those who were on the fence about the original Shenmue should give this one a go. Alternatively, the magazine suggests Skies of Arcadia as another game to consider. Finally, the Dreamcast rating breaks down the score, giving Shenmue 2 a massive overall score of 94%. Visuals, sounds, gameplay and value all score in the 90s, showing across-the-board excellence. It's clear they think Shenmue 2 is a real winner for the Dreamcast and a must-have title. This page features Capcom vs SNK Pro, and it seems to be a look at the updated version of the original game. The article mentions it's bringing in improvements but perhaps not massive changes, focusing on refining the gameplay rather than a complete overhaul. There's a section called New Kids on the Block, which highlights two new characters joining the roster, Joe Higashi from Fatal Fury and Dan Hibiki from Street Fighter, giving a little background on each of them and their fighting styles. Joe is described as using Muay Thai kickboxing and likes fighting style and Andy Bogard. Dan Hibiki is mentioned as using Saikyo style and being the strongest, liking taunting opponents and wearing pink. The Dreamcast Opinion section gives the game a solid rating. The Judgment praises it as a classic beat MUP and highlights the definitive version and the care for players of the original. The Second Opinion echoes this, stating it is a great update, suggesting it's worth considering even if you own the first game. The Dreamcast rating at the bottom gives the game a strong 91% overall, breaking down the scores into visuals, sounds, gameplay and value, all in the 80s and 90s. It concludes by saying it's virtually the same game as before, but better. Alien Front Online was a groundbreaking online experience for the Dreamcast. The game pits humans and aliens against each other in a fight to save the world, offering strategic gameplay involving tanks and alien creatures. It's got some front, describes core gameplay, emphasizing action and strategy. At the front, online highlights the online aspect and strategic depth. Getting it on details ranked online multiplayer modes, including Team Deathmatch, Fortress, Team-Based Defense, and Capture the Flag. Alien Front Online showcased the Dreamcast's online capabilities and remains a notable title for its time. Alien Front Online on the Dreamcast is a highly praised conversion of the arcade game, especially for its online play. The game offers a diverse selection of vehicles for both Army and Alien forces, each with unique strengths and weaknesses. Army vehicles include the MKQ Merkava, M1A Abrams, and M108A2 howitzer, while the Alien side boasts the Hovercraft, AI Walker, and GP Walker. The review highlights the enjoyable online multiplayer, enhanced by Dreamcast microphone chat for strategic planning. Graphics are considered adequate, but the gameplay, particularly the explosions and vehicle designs, is the real highlight. The review recommends using advanced tactics and praises the tank range and multiplayer aspects. Scoring a 92% overall, with strong marks for visuals, gameplay and value, the review concludes that Alien Front Online is essential for Dreamcast owners, particularly those interested in online gaming. Other games, such as Red Dog and Wild Metal, are suggested as alternatives. The next page is a double-page spread. On the left we have a Project K advert. They are specialists in mail-order import video games and accessories, and on the right side it's the magazine feature page. The Project K advert lists a range of PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast games and accessories for sale, things like consoles, games and various merchandise. On the right page we have a feature for Shenmue 2, proclaiming it as essential for any self-respecting Dreamcast owner, and part 2 of a guide to the game. There's also a section called As of Cheats, and another section, Regulars, which includes Directory, Dream On, and Dream Moment as regular magazine features. This Dreamcast As Solutions Guide, Part 2, provides cheat codes and hints for various games. Phantasy Star Online tips include unlocking extra settings and alternate costumes, and a hidden artwork bonus when using the disc in a CD-ROM drive. Power Stone details unlocking the world of Power Stone book. Quake 2, iArena lists, standard cheat activation methods, and promises more in the next issue. Rainbow Six features numerous cheat codes for God mode, head size alterations, and other gameplay tweaks. Rayman 2 offers cheats like Access Globex Disc and Full Life, activated with button combinations. Ready 2 Rumble Boxing, Round 2 unlocks various classes, holiday costumes, and an Unlock Everything option. A Cheats Unlimited advertisement promotes their cheat website and phone lines, boasting thousands of game tips. This page carries on with the cheat codes for Dreamcast games. For Resident Evil code Veronica, you can unlock battle mode by completing the main game on any difficulty. Samba de Amigo has cheats to access all music, random mode, and super hard mode by shaking the maracas a specific number of times in the song selection screen. San Francisco Rush 2049 has button combinations to activate the cheat menu and unlock all cars. Sega GT lists a load of cheat codes activated via button presses, including unlocking World Speed King races after completing all events, bonus practice levels, and options for super tires, mass, brakes, super speed, fog color, random weapons, invisible car and track, lure color changes, sonic lure and alternate clothes and boat colors. Over on the right side, it's a full-page advert, and it's for mobile phone ringtones and graphics. It's pushing sexy ringtones and graphics, with phone numbers to call and a website mobiletone.co.uk to check out. There's lists of ringtone names, mostly pop songs and phrases, and logos for different brands and categories, but nothing especially to do with Dreamcast games themselves. This page focuses on the Japanese version of Sega Rally 2, featuring extra vehicles and cheat codes. Players can unlock cars like the Subaru Impreza 555 and Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 4 by placing well in championship races. Cheat codes unlock all cars, up, B, A left, B down, and all tracks, up, down, right, B, A, B right down, at the title screen. The page details various courses, including desert, mountain, snowy, Riviera, exclusive to this version, muddy, and isle, with recommendations for the best car for each track. Additionally, the page briefly covers Shenmue, providing tips to unlock the 70-person battle, earn money through gambling, and a section hinting at secrets in Silent Scope, along with a game screenshot. Cube Magazine, dedicated to the Nintendo GameCube, advertised a 132-page issue packed with game reviews, features, interviews, and launch title reveals. The cover showcased games like Rogue Leader, Pikmin, and Super Mario Sunshine. Issue 1 included a free video. Beyond reviews, the magazine featured a cheat section offering codes for games like Rogue Leader, Resident Evil, and Snowcross Championship Racing, including modes like Scapeless and Invisible Enemies. Unexpectedly, the cheat section also featured Sonic Adventure, focusing on K-Raising and VMU usage, highlighting the device's role in nurturing these creatures and playing minigames. This page features a glimpse into the Dreamcast era, highlighting Sonic Shuffle and Soul Calibur, alongside mobile ringtone advertisements. Sonic Shuffle's preview emphasizes character unlocks, including Big the Cat, Amy Rose, and even Super Sonic, with modes like Play as Kale. Soul Calibur focuses on unlocking new art and stages, detailing locations like Silk Road Ruins and the Adrian Fortress. The text also details various fruit items and their effects, such as increasing swimming speed or attack strength, reminiscent of Sonic Adventure's Kale Garden. On the right, a loud advertisement promotes ringtones for Nokia phones, featuring game sound effects and popular music, with UK and Irish phone numbers to call. They even listed out the top 10 ringtones available. This page continues the look at Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast, delving into the player's modes, including Cervantes and Edgemaster, which unlocks characters and weapons by completing various missions. It mentions the Secret Swamp mission and Secret Dojo mission for unlocking even more. There's also a section on victory poses and Soul Fighter, which lets you access a cheat code screen. The cheat codes themselves are listed, providing access to all weapons, high energy, and different level codes for various stages. Moving on, there's a section on South Park Rally, with a whole host of cheat codes for unlocking races and characters. You've got codes to race as different characters like Mrs. Cartman, Ned, Pip, Satan, Scuzzlebutt, Sheila Broflovsky, Shelley, Marvin, Starvin Marvin, Terrence and Philip, and even Jesus. There are also codes for unlocking cars, like the Cartman Cop car and the Damien car. It's a proper list of daft codes you'd expect from a South Park game. Finally, there's a quick mention of speed devils, with cheats to access all cars and tracks, infinite nitrous and even extra money, making the races a bit less challenging if you fancy it. On the right-hand side, it's a full-page advert for the Street Fighter II, the animated movie DVD, released on the 29th of October, 2001. It boasts digitally remastered visuals, 5.1 surround sound, and original European soundtrack. It's pushing it as a special DVD edition and available to buy from various shops. This document provides a cheat code compilation for several Dreamcast games. Star Wars Episode 1, Racer unlocks bonus content. Tomb Raider Chronicles offers level selection cheats. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and skateboarding feature numerous cheats, including character modifications, special meters, and gameplay modes. Street Fighter II, Third Strike and Double Impact unlock characters and customization. The Grinch unlocks minigames, while Trickstyle offers gameplay enhancements. Vigilante 8. Second Offense includes options for altered physics, weapons, and modes. Unreal Tournament provides ammo and invincibility cheats, and Rally 2 unlocks all content. Toy Commander allows room access and weapon adjustments. This page features a couple of cracking games there, Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Virtua Striker 2, version 2000.1, both solid titles on the Dreamcast. It's all about getting the upper hand with cheats and tips here. For Virtua Fighter 3 TB, they're showing you how to unlock hidden characters by messing around with the name entry screen, and even how to play as Silver Dural and get alternate costumes. Then for Virtua Striker 2, it's a similar deal, unlocking MVP teams, the FC Sega team, alternate kits and bonus teams, plus cheat modes for Worms Armageddon within Virtua Striker. They've also thrown in bits for WWF Attitude and Zombie Revenge, detailing how to unlock career mode bonuses, titles, pay-per-views and cheat modes in those games. Over on the right, it's an advert for Gear Chill magazine. Looks like it's reviewing all sorts of stuff, from snowboards and mad mud karting gear to gadgets, sports stuff and games, all rated for your buying pleasure. They are showcasing some of the items you can read about inside: portable TVS, surf kayaks, calendars, guitars and headphones. It's all the stuff you might be interested in if you are into your gadgets and games. This page of the magazine is diving into Shenmue 2, cracking game that one was. It's giving us a player's guide focused on finding Yang in Kowloon. They've broken it down by locations, starting with Dragon Street. Apparently you need to meet this geezer called Cool Zed, who will point you towards Ren's hideout, and then on to Yuando Zhu, who's got a herb shop in Great View Building. Following Ren, you'll eventually get to Yang. Bakatia. Then it moves on to Thousand White Quarter, telling you to head to the second floor of the Great View Building, ring the bell, and Yang will give you a password from behind the counter. Clever stuff. Corsa has. Finally, for Dim Sum Quarter, it looks like you need to find Stand Quarter first, then head to the Dancing Dragon Building to find Yang. It's all about navigating those Kowloon streets and buildings. Classic Shenmue exploration, really. They've got screenshots dotted around, showing the locations and characters too, just to help you find your way around. Solid guide for getting to grips with Kowloon and finding Yang. Right in the thick of it. This section of the Shenmue 2 guide details the search for Yang, focusing on areas and objectives. In Stand Quarter, the player must navigate the Dancing Dragon Building, using passwords and QTES to progress. Failure results in capture, with escape attempts. Dragon Street involves removing the Cool Zed at Ren's hideout, and a scene with Joy, then returning to Great View Herbs. Thousand White Quarter leads to Great View Herbs and finding Huang the Wiretapper, in room 902 of the Tea Break Building. Dim Sum Quarter involves entering the Tea Break Building, finding Huang's room, and collecting tapes. Successfully retrieving the final tape and playing it reveals a bell chime and parrot sound at 5:01 seconds. This leads to a meeting with blind street musicians in Thousand White Quarter, where choosing the right dialogue option reveals clues about a tape and the Moonchild Building. This Shenmue 2 guide excerpt details Ryo's search for Yuan in Hong Kong. In the Stand Quarter, Ryo investigates the Moonchild Building, gathering information from NPCs and using an afterburner toy to bribe a boy named Hongji. The search leads to the Birds Building, exploring its first and third floors. The Dim Sum Quarter section focuses on the Birds Building again, tasking Ryo to observe Yuan by following him and avoiding cutscene elevators. The Thousand White Quarter briefly involves a knife shop, and following leads to Cafe Anna and back to Stand Quarter. The final Stand Quarter section involves a stealth sequence in the Moonchild Building. Ryo must follow Yuan, successfully completing QTES to avoid detection. He then finds Zhang, hides from Du Nui, engages in a QTE fight, and finally ties up Du Nui in a cabinet. This guide section covers Shenmue 2's progression towards meeting Yuan Zhu in Hong Kong. It details the 5-Star Corp and meeting Yuan Zhu sections. In 5-Star Corp Dragon Street, Ryo explores the Ghost Hall building's 10th floor. The subsequent meeting Yuan Zhu section involves finding items in his room, a phoenix stick, 8 principles of yin and yang, and a blue dragon stick to solve a puzzle and access a secret room where Yuan Zhu is found. A way in involves navigating the 1000 White Quarter, Dim Sum Quarter, and Stand Quarter. This requires obtaining a key, making tea, and sparring to gain entry to the Moonchild building. The guide highlights key actions in each area. Separate sections detail combat and scouting in Dragon Street, featuring fights with Rod Stunt, Greg Moore, Chunyan, and 1000 White Quarter, where Ryo faces in Jiangzhou at night near the small Dragon Garden. This page is an advert for P2, the ultimate magazine for the Ultimate Games Machine, which is all about the PlayStation 2, boasting, "The PlayStation 2 is here, can you handle it?" It mentions issue 14 hitting shelves on the 25th of October, 2001. And promises in-depth PS2 reviews, previews, news, solutions and features every month. It highlights unbiased and unofficial informative views and opinions from well-respected writers. The magazine cover features Grand Theft Auto 3 prominently. On the right of the page is a guide section, continuing the Shenmue 2 walkthrough from the previous page, focusing on the Street Fighters aspect. It details 2 quests within the game, Dim Sum Quarter and Stand Quarter, providing step-by-step instructions to progress. Dim Sum Quarter involves going to Tea Break Building and speaking to the man in red trousers to get into fights and earn money. Stand Quarter details how to take $1,000 to the Blue Dragon Garden and fight. The guide lists named opponents like Rod Stunt, Greg Moore, and Chunyan. The guide continues the walkthrough of the 1000 White Quarter from the previous page, building on the away-in section, and detailing encounters in Dragon Street, Dim Sum Quarter, and Stand Quarter. This page showcases a continuation of the Shenmue 2 player's guide, this time focusing on the rescue quest within the 1000 White Quarter, specifically navigating the Yellowhead building. The guide gives detailed floor-by-floor instructions, highlighting the use of quick-time events and combat encounters with thugs as you progress to rescue Ren. You'll be going up and down quite a few floors, from 2F all the way up to 18F apparently, dealing with guards and navigating tricky situations. On the right side of the page, there's a large advert for GameStation promoting a massive sale on Dreamcast titles. They've got a good selection on offer, including top titles like Virtua Tennis 2, Shenmue 2, Headhunter, and even classics like Sega Rally 2 and Crazy Taxi. The prices are pretty tempting, ranging from just a few quid for games like WWF Attitude up to around £24 for the newer releases like Shenmue 2 and Headhunter. They are encouraging you to call a number to order more games, and there's even a mail order form if you prefer sending in a check. Looks like a good opportunity to stock up on some Dreamcast games if you missed any back in the day. This guide section focuses on the Guilin area in Shenmue 2. It begins in Dragon Street, where Ryo searches for the Dragon and Phoenix mirrors, learning they are stone. Lundi is in Bailu Village. The guide then details Scarlet Hills, Wanchai, where Ryo learns Shuing's training at the Manmo Temple from Hanhui, receiving a scroll and pendant. Next, the guide describes Langhuishan, detailing the path from the boat to Yingshuhu, including a fishmonger and a scenic green field walk. Finally, Deep Green Way is presented, where Shenhua joins Ryo. This section involves following Shenhua, with QTES, for actions like sidestep and jump gap. The area includes beautiful nature scenes, culminating in Ryo and Shenhua spending the night in a cave using Ryo's lighter. The next page presents a split layout. On the left is a player's guide section dedicated to Shenmue. It continues the walkthrough, now detailing areas like the Rocky area, which involves navigating narrow bridges and quick time events. Shenhua's house, where you can learn more about Shenhua's past and see diagrams of the mirrors, and Cloudbird Trail and Stone Pit sections. Screenshots illustrate in-game moments, and the guide ends with, "Congratulations, you've finished Shenmue 2. On the right-hand side, there's a full-page advert for the Xbox console, proclaiming it's coming and out now for XBM, which likely refers to Xbox Magazine. The advert features a large image of the original Xbox console and controller, with a grid of smaller images alongside words like passion, love, sex, money, violence, religion, injustice, and death, suggesting the diverse and mature themes that the Xbox platform was aiming for. This document serves as a Dreamcast game directory, providing a comprehensive overview of various titles, organized with categories like genre, player count, VMU support, online play, peripherals, review issue, and a rating out of 100%. It covers genres such as action-adventure, driving/racing, and sports. The directory features a diverse list of Dreamcast games, including titles like Jet Set Radio, Daytona USA 2001, and Capcom vs. SNK. It's designed to offer a quick reference for players, detailing online capabilities, required accessories, and the location of full game reviews. This resource allows users to quickly assess the worth of a game and find relevant information. Kia. This page expands the Dreamcast game directory, featuring CD reviews and a most played section. The CD reviews highlight the music from, and inspired by Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 soundtrack, awarded a perfect score for its skate-friendly music. Compilation albums House of House and Pure Chillout both received a 3/5. Most played focuses on Res, lauded for its captivating visuals and gameplay, potentially surpassing the PlayStation 2 version. Best of genre picks are also included, showcasing titles like Resident Evil, Code Veronica, Soul Calibur, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. A web section mentions ebay.co.uk for game deals, freeloadertom.com for free downloads, and darwinawards.com.stra. Finally, the game directory table continues, offering detailed information on Dreamcast games. This page carries on the Dreamcast directory, with a videos section reviewing games based on films. First off is Shrek, a cracking family game which scores a perfect 5/5. They reckon it captures the film's humor and is great for everyone, with a little screenshot to prove it. The Mummy Returns gets a respectable 3/5, described as a decent romp for Indiana Jones types, but nothing groundbreaking. Then there's Dude, Where's My Car? Beaker, which sadly only gets a 1/5, apparently not very funny or original. Below that is the import directory, a table crammed with import titles, things like Aero Dancing F, Alien Front Online, and Capcom vs. SNK, listing details about how many players, if they use the VM online play, and any special kit you might need, along with the issue and ratings. This Dreamcast directory section reviews various games. Film adaptations get a look, with Lord of the Rings being praised. The game directory covers a range of genres. Tokyo Highway Challenge is decent, with its sequel being better. Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation shines, while Chronicles is less impressive. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Unreal Tournament, and Virtua Tennis are considered classics. Toy Commander offers original fun, and Vigilante 8-2 ND Offense delivers car combat. Football fans get Virtua Striker 2, Worms World Party and Zombie Revenge are also highlighted. Wrestling games are split, with WWF Royal Rumble being better than Attitude. Other games like Trick Style, Extreme Sports, and Walt Disney World Magical Racing Tour get a mention. The page also includes advertisements for games, consoles, and magazines, alongside some adult chat adverts. This page features various advertisements from the early 2000s, including console and game hotlines, mobile phone accessories, and ringtone services. The most prominent ads are for cheat code services, Inspector Cheats, and Cheats Unlimited, both claiming to be the UK's top provider. They list extensive game catalogues, with a significant emphasis on Dreamcast titles like Crazy Taxi, Shenmue, Soul Calibur, and many others. These services offered cheats for a wide range of games. Other ads include prank call services, reflecting the era's tech and gaming culture and the popularity of cheat codes. Waitu. This page is an advert for Dreamcast Magazine, declaring itself the UK's best-selling unofficial Dreamcast magazine. The main focus is on the game Res, asking, "Born trippy?" and suggesting it's perfect for those wee small hours. The right side of the page previews the reviewed next issue section, highlighting a bunch of games. First up is NBA 2K2, described as slam-dunking fun, and one of the last PAL releases on the Dreamcast. Then there's Cannon Spike, with the question, "How good are you with a weapon?" Psova 2.0 PAL, or Phantasy Star Online is mentioned, wondering if Sega had enough content left for the PAL version. Geru, Mark of the Wolves is said to be Senk's goodbye to top-tier 2D fighters. Heavy Metal Geomatrix is described as madcap fighting action with rockets. And lastly, Cosmic Smash is about bouncing balls against a brick wall. They say they do it every issue. Below that, Solution's next issue is previewed, featuring Headhunter with a promise of complete guidance to the game. It also mentions cheats, tips and hints for a load of other games like Tekken 3, 90 Minutes, Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX, Cosmic Smash and more. The bottom right corner states, Issue 31 on sale the 31st of January 2001. Essentially, it's a classic magazine ad pushing the next issue and trying to get readers hooked. The text describes a magazine with back issues and subscription details. Back issues are listed, showcasing the games and reviews featured in each issue, from issue 6 through 29. Popular games reviewed include Metropolis Street Racer, Shenmue, Jet Set Radio, and Half-Life. The subscription section promotes savings, offering a 6-issue subscription for £18 UK, £20 Europe, or £28 rest of the world, with a 10% discount for direct debit payments. There are order forms for both back issues and subscriptions. The next page showcases a dream moment focusing on Shenmue 2. It poses the question, could the last one out turn off the light? Referencing the anticipation surrounding the sequel after the cliffhanger ending of the first Shenmue. There's a moody screenshot of Ryo Hazuki, and the text talks about the first game being complete after 100 fighters and dispensed with the vengeance for his father's death. It mentions the wait for Shenmue 2 and discusses the uncertainty around its release, noting issues with Yu Suzuki's ambitious plans and the possibility of it appearing on Xbox due to Sega's changing strategy and being platform agnostic. The page also advertises issue 31, on sale from the 31st of January 2001. On the right side of the page, there's an advert for a phone service offering coolest answer phone greetings and celebrity voices for your mobile. It lists categories like Top 20, Music, Movies, People, and Fun, with various names and short phrases alongside codes. It's essentially a promotional page for a premium rate phone service offering novelty voicemail greetings.